Christian Horner is out, and the Formula One grid just got a major shakeup.
We'll bring you some breaking news first, coming in from Red Bull GmbH, saying that it has fired Christian Horner.
Red Bull's longtime team boss, the man behind their dominance, has been sacked after 20 years. What's next? Ownership rumors, Alpine links, and a power vacuum that's already rippling through the paddock. Max Verstappen's future? Suddenly wide open. Mercedes is circling around Max. The engine race for 2026 is heating up, and Red Bull looks more vulnerable than ever. In today's video, we're breaking it all down. The behind-the-scenes drama, what Horner might do next, and whether Laurent Mekies can stabilize a team that's lost its way. Before we go deep, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's jump into it. Christian Horner's exit from Red Bull wasn't just shocking, it was game-changing. For over 2 decades, Horner wasn't just a team principal. He was Red Bull's mind behind 6 Constructors' Championships, 8 drivers' titles, 124 race wins, and 287 podiums that happened under his leadership. But after a rough 18 months, from leaked scandal fallout to Red Bull's technical downturn, the once untouchable boss is out. Despite being cleared of allegations by 2 separate investigations, Horner never fully recovered from the optics. His authority was eroding. Key allies like Adrian Newey and Jonathan Wheatley left. Morale and performance were never the same as they used to be. And while Max Verstappen still dragged the RB21 into contention, the car was no longer the class of the field. Red Bull is currently 4th in the Constructors' Championship, their lowest standing in 6 years. So what's next for Horner? According to analyst David Croft, he could follow Toto Wolff's example, buy into a team and return with an ownership stake. Alpine is the obvious candidate. With Hollywood investors on board and Flavio Briatore's return stirring the pot, Alpine could use a heavyweight like Horner. The twist? Horner and Briatore are close. That connection could turn rumor into reality. His £50 million Red Bull settlement might not stretch far, but Horner's phone book is golden. And Alpine isn't the only fish in the sea, though Ferrari seems out of the question for now. If Horner becomes part owner of a rival, F1 politics will ignite all over again. And that brings us to the man replacing him, Laurent Mekies. Replacing Horner is never going to be easy, but Red Bull has rolled the dice with Laurent Mekies, an engineer, not a showman, quiet, calculated, and competent. But is he the reset Red Bull desperately needs? Mekies brings deep F1 experience. He has been in the sport for over 2 decades, with stints at Toro Rosso, the FIA, Ferrari, and most recently, Racing Bulls. He's seen it all, from technical regulations to political warfare. What he isn't? A media personality or PR tactician. Red Bull's image will shift fast. His first mission is not easy. Stabilize a fractured team, stop the talent exodus, and keep Verstappen from walking. He's already made a move promoting Alain Permanet to replace himself at Racing Bulls, a proven veteran with 36 years in the paddock. But the internal politics are still radioactive. Helmut Marko, Jos Verstappen, and a passive-aggressive shareholder base in Thailand create a minefield that Mekies must tiptoe through. His predecessor blocked Will Courtney's move to McLaren. Mekies? He let it happen. That signals a less personal, more pragmatic leadership style. And it's needed, because paranoia was the norm under Horner. Staff were interrogated for talking to journalists. That cloud is lifting, but morale needs rebuilding. Mekies has technical chops, but can he lead in a paddock that eats its own? Meanwhile, Max Verstappen has his own plans brewing. Max Verstappen has a contract with Red Bull until 2028. But contracts in F1 aren't shackles, they're leverage. The Verstappen camp is in advanced talks with Mercedes, according to Sky Italy. Reports say it was Max's side that reached out.
The big story today has come out of Italy. Our Sky Italy colleagues reporting that they understand that Max Verstappen is keen on a Mercedes move for next season.
Toto Wolff's interest isn't new. He's tried to land Max before. Mercedes has a slot open. Wolff called Verstappen a 4-time world champion. Anyone would be foolish not to consider. Red Bull's decline, Horner's exit, and rumors that their 2026 power unit is lagging behind make Verstappen's exit clause rumored to hinge on championship standings by the summer break. Even more relevant. He currently sits third, 69 points behind Oscar Piastri. If he drops below a performance threshold after the Belgian GP, he could walk. Horner's exit might remove one emotional barrier. His father, Jos, openly opposed Horner's leadership. But Max's frustrations go deeper. The inconsistent RB21, Newey's departure, and instability in the technical team. Lewis Hamilton even gave Max the green light. "Of course I'd recommend Mercedes," he said. "Red Bull's great, but Mercedes is special too." If Mercedes convinces Verstappen that their 2026 engine is the best, like they did with Hamilton in 2012, history could repeat itself, and Red Bull knows it, which is why they're scrambling to steady the ship. Red Bull insists the fight's not over. "We'll keep pushing as long as it's mathematically possible," Helmut Marko said after Horner's exit. But behind the defiance lies a storm of issues. Verstappen has scored 165 of the team's 172 points. That's 95.9% of Red Bull's total. A stat that screams dysfunction. The second seat? A revolving door of underperformance. Yuki Tsunoda, promoted after Liam Lawson's early struggles, hasn't sniffed a podium. The RB21 is a high-maintenance diva. It produces downforce but lacks consistency. Verstappen complains of understeer one lap and oversteer the next. It's aerodynamically unpredictable, and, unless you're Max, practically undrivable. With McLaren dominating and Mercedes catching up, Red Bull's constructors' chances are already cooked. Their last non-Verstappen podium was over a year ago. The upcoming 2026 engine regs amplify the pressure. Ford is backing Red Bull's first-ever in-house engine, a bold move. But insiders say Mercedes is ahead in development. If Red Bull gets it wrong, they're out of the title fight for years. And the instability hasn't stopped. Will Courtney left for McLaren. Sporting director Paul Smith and marketing chief Oliver Hughes were ousted alongside Horner. Brain drain is real and dangerous. Mekies isn't just inheriting a team, he's inheriting a crisis. And how he handles it could decide the next F1 power dynamic. So what's next? Let's take a sharp look ahead. F1 is entering a reset. The Belgian Grand Prix is next, a sprint weekend at Spa, one of Verstappen's favorite tracks. It's also the last race before the performance clause in his contract becomes relevant. If he drops further, his exit option activates. Expect fireworks behind the scenes. If Mercedes pulls the trigger, Verstappen could be announced as George Russell's teammate for 2026. Kimi Antonelli may stay benched. For Red Bull, the big question is twofold. Can Mekies convince Max to stay? Can Red Bull rebuild in time for the 2026 regulation overhaul? If the answer to either is no, Red Bull might be facing a harsh new reality, becoming a midfield team. Laurent Mekies needs to redesign the car philosophy, build a competitive power unit from scratch with Ford, re-stabilize the workforce, and somehow find a second driver that doesn't sink the team. Isaac Hadjar? Maybe. But they'll need to move fast. On the flip side, Christian Horner might re-emerge at Alpine or elsewhere, looking to turn another team into a title threat. If that happens, don't bet against him stirring the pot once again, especially if Alpine suddenly becomes competitive in 2026. The sport is on the edge of a massive shift. The next 3 months could redefine the grid order for the next 5 years. In the end, here's a sum up on today's video. Christian Horner's exit has sent shockwaves through Red Bull, and the consequences are still unfolding. Verstappen is weighing his future. Top talent has walked out, and rival teams are watching closely. Laurent Mekies faces an uphill climb to bring clarity, direction, and stability back to a team in transition. Red Bull is still fast, but the question now is, for how long? Will Verstappen stay and bet on a Red Bull revival, or take a leap with Mercedes into the unknown 2026 era? Let us know what you think in the comments. Hit like and subscribe for updates. See you in the next one.